Hi. So, once again, welcome to my Darkness and Light Tarot channel here on YouTube. Today, I'm excited because this has been up by a special request by a friend of mine that asked me, what is intuition? How do I connect to my intuition? What does my intuition feel like? Right? So, the reason why I'm so excited is because it's one of the things that I struggled with as well. And I had to really explore. I had to allow myself to be messy. I had to kind of feel into it. So I'm here today. I'm going to be using the Spacious Tarot deck. Now, let me just take it out here. I do not have the box with me. But anyway, if you're wondering, it's the Spacious Tarot. Okay. And here's the back of the deck. Now, before I jump into pulling cards, I wanted to kind of introduce what does intuition feel like? Okay. So some of us, let's just say all of us experience our intuition kind of in our own way. But there are little cues and clues and things that you need to listen to and tune in to yourself, right? So what does that mean? Well, I'm going to use one card as an example. So we have the Emperor. Okay. So the Emperor is the fourth card. I always forget which one he is. He's the fourth card in the major arcana. And if you look here, what's the first thing I see? Okay, now, logically speaking, it would be that big, beautiful poppy flower in the front, right? It's standing majestically. But what's the next thing that kind of comes to mind when I look at this? Well, there's rose, there's order, they are thriving, the flowers are healthy, and that it's in looks like a little garden, and that they're well cared for, and that front poppy seems to be thriving just as much, but like majestically and strong, and seems to be looking out for the rest of the garden, right? And so the Emperor has always been very grounding. When you look into the meaning of what the Emperor card is, right? It's part of the major arcana. And if you go and listen to one of my other videos, you'll see what the major arcana is made up of. It's comprised of three parts. Now, the first part is kind of the learning, right? So the Emperor can be one of our teachers. It could be someone that's a teacher, a mentor, a friend, or like someone that's a little older. Can be the same age too. Doesn't have to be they're older. I always use like someone that has come into your life to kind of guide and support you in the ways that you really need to be guided and supported. And it's not just a friend that has that kind of teacher or guide role in your life. Right? So that's without even using intuition. This is just observational, right? And the Emperor and what that card is, right? So that aside, let's put the meaning of the card aside. Let's put what the only things we see with our eyes. Let's try and look at, okay, so the first thing I had noticed was that the flowers are thriving. So this card could easily be keep on doing what you're doing. You're thriving. You may not see all of the beautiful blessings that are coming from or that are there with or around you, or the things that you do. You don't see the fruit of your labors as clearly right now, but you will. And so how do I know that? How can I feel that? Well, when I see a healthy garden, if I step back, I see that the whole garden is thriving, right? So how can I apply that in my life? Well, once again, it will come kind of naturally. What is the thought that comes to your mind? This garden is thriving. Oh, yeah, it's true. I'm doing well. This is doing well. That is doing well. And the things that come to your mind naturally. It's not thoughts that are invading. You shouldn't push them away. That's what intuition is. Your mind will go to places automatically in your life that are thriving. Does that make sense? So then we have the tall, beautiful, majestic leader right here in front. And often that will represent that you can be a natural leader. Why? Well, that's where my mind went. My mind brought me to, natural born leader. Now, is it me, or is it prompting me to trust the person that in my life that's kind of got that teacher, leader, mentor role in my life? Is it that I need to step into that energy? I need to take a step forward, or I need to trust myself and become a leader to others that they so need so much, right? It really is circumstantial to the life you're leading, to your life circumstance, right? I've had to step into a leader role many times, and I've stepped into and stepped out of it as well, which I was more than okay with, because everything, you'll hear me say this often in my videos, life has an ebb and flow, right? Ebb one way and then flow the other, and nothing is permanent, nothing is constant. The only thing that's constant in you is a choice you can make. You can choose to trust your intuition and trust those thoughts that kind of come to your mind, and you can trust to start to recognize, right? When, oh, that thought came to my mind, not for nothing. Okay, what is, and then you follow that thought, right? Like I said, garden is thriving. What is thriving in my life? Or who's this person in my life, right? As I explained earlier. So let's try another card, and we can kind of dip into what intuition is. And the reason why I like using the cards is because it's a lot easier for me and for a lot of people to understand by example, right? So I want to kind of give you guys the opportunity to see the card and then use it, or listen to what your intuition says. And it's not because I'm talking that your intuition isn't saying something completely different from what I'm saying. Make sense? All right. So that card is put aside. Let's grab another card. All right. Okay. Ooh, Emperor of Pentacles. So that means the King of Pentacles. Another emperor. Interesting. Once again, leader, natural born leader. It's just kind of a thing about kings, right? So if you look here, I use, by the way, I chose this deck because it's super simple. And it really forces me to pay attention to the card if I really want to receive anything from it. It's not the most obvious. I really have to zoom in and allow my intuition to kick in with this card deck. Sometimes it can be a challenge for me. Sometimes it can bring out shadows and trigger me. Once again, which is one of the reasons why I kind of chose this deck, because it's very strongly, very intuitive, provoking. So let's see here. We have the bear, right, which is very prominent, okay? But the bear is alone in this card. So what could that mean? What comes to my mind right away when I see the lone bear? The thing that comes to my mind is that the bear is alone, but seems strong and still seems to be that, like, that leader, right? Seems to know where he's going. Okay. And so it tells me that being alone isn't a negative thing, it's not a bad thing. So that's where my mind went right away. What does your mind tell you? What comes to your mind first thing when you see the bear here? Is he alone? But he's alone among all that majestic nature, right? That's another thing that comes to my mind is there's woods, there's mountains, there's fields. There's that beautiful, beautiful peach sky, right? And so what could that mean? Well, that just means that this is his domain, right? That's one of the things that I receive, right? That my intuition just told me he is protecting his land, his domain, and how do I apply that into my life? Well, that this very much represents me, actually. And how does it represent me? Well, I'm a mama bear through and through. I love my boys. I absolutely adore my husband. And I love the people that I choose to have in my life very, very much. Okay. Friends are family that I get to choose. And so I love them very much and I'm very protective of them. So this card represents beautifully who I am in my own life. See how I kind of made that natural link. How do I feel that this connects to me in my life, just like I felt that the thriving garden and the natural leader, right? That was where my mind went. Where does your mind go when it sees these cards? How can they relate to your life? So some people see being alone as a very negative thing. Personally, I used to have that same mindset. And the more and more I grow and I heal and I intentionally want to, how can I put this? I make sure that I spend time with me. Okay. Because one of the things that I remember back when being alone was negative for me was that I had a hard time being alone with myself. I didn't like the feeling that of when I was alone. I felt like my mind would spin so much. I felt the fear, the insecurity, I just didn't love myself. And that was a hard reality for me to face. But once I stopped being afraid of it and started taking care of that part of me, like I would take care of a friend, that's when I realized that being alone is actually really a blessing, and I cherish my alone moments. I don't get them as much because I'm a mom of 5 beautiful boys, but I really have come to love and cherish them. So that's a second card. Once again, what comes to your mind first, your intuition. You have to get used to it to be able to be in tune with it. Let's do another card. I don't know how many cards. I'm kind of winging it here, but let's do another card. Ooh, beginning of the pack. Ooh, another major arcana card, Justice. Now, it's funny, in the logo of my Darkness and Light Tarot business, there's the yin and the yang. And I chose that because I really believe that we are beings of darkness and light, and that our darkness is just as sacred and beautiful as our light, and that it deserves as much love and attention as our light side. So if you see here, we have the darkness and light in the middle. I love this card. I love that it popped up. Okay, so intuition, ripples. Now, I love how this card is probably the most intuition card I've pulled up till now. I think I'm going to finish with this card. So, Justice is the 11th card of the major arcana. So, what does that mean? It means it's in the second part of the major arcana, and it means that we're kind of we're learning to, we are learning, but learning to apply. Okay. So remember, major arcana made up of 3 parts. If you want to know a bit more about that, go look in my other videos. I have made a video on the major arcana. So if you look here, we have the ripples, right? And because it's in the second part of the major arcana, we're learning by doing. Okay, we don't have just the mentor anymore. We've learned, we've had the teacher. Now we're learning by doing. We're applying, right? And so justice. So justice can be many things. What comes to mind right away before I even look at the image? Justice. What is justice? Justice means that integrity, right? Justice means integrity. Justice means it means respect. It means love, but in a healthy way, without depending or without fear, right? And so, well, how do you see that? Well, I see the first thing that comes to my mind. Remember, intuition. What's the first thing that comes to my mind? Well, this is me in the middle. I'm made up of my darkness and my light. So right away, that's the first thing that comes to my mind. And the choices and everything and the life I lead and the actions I take and the words I say and the thoughts I have affect everything and everyone around me, like a ripple effect. See, right away, that is what comes to my mind. What comes to your mind when you see this image? Do not discard thoughts. If they're negative thoughts, you're being triggered. Something is being triggered. Why am I having that negative thought? If it's not a negative thought, then follow that thought too. Okay, why does this represent me? Because I'm made up of darkness and light. Okay, and is my darkness and light beautiful and sacred? Yes, it is. That's where my mind goes, right? And so what would be ripple effects in my life? Well, what creates ripple effects in my life? It's the words I say, the actions I do, the choices I make, and the thoughts I have, right? So those are the ripple effects in my life. And so what it says to me is to continue in my love, respect, and integrity journey, right? And to, once again, everything starts with me. See how that just kind of popped to my mind? I didn't plan that. By the way, all of my videos, I totally listen to my intuition. There's nothing written down, literally. Like if you saw my space here, nothing written down, nothing like I have an idea of what I'm going to look at today with you guys, right? In the cards. But other than that, that's all I plan because I really want my intuition to be take the front row seat. I really want to be able to tap into that part of me that will guide me in this video, right? For you guys, so that you guys can see firsthand in the very clear example of how my intuition kicks in so that you can allow yours to kick in as well and have an example of that and know how to do that just by seeing. I'm someone that learns by seeing, right? If I'm watching someone do a recipe, I'm going to remember a lot better if I'm standing next to them or watching them doing it on a video than if I read just on black and white paper. Okay, so that's why I use the real cards and I allow myself to truly delve into my intuition and allow it to guide me. So I think that's about it for the Justice card. So making sure that I'm straight and I take care of me and that I'm the focus of me first so that I can do the same for others. Now, it might come off selfish for certain people because it's not their reflex, but I promise you that I know that when I take care of me and when I love me and I continually work on me and heal those parts that are triggered and that come up for me and that I know that need to be nurtured and loved and that those parts of me need space to exist. Because the more I suppress the parts of me that are not healed, the less they will be healed and the bigger the problem gets. Just like if you don't disinfect a cut, it will get infected and the problem will get bigger. Okay, it's the same thing, but inside. There's no difference. Okay, you might as well be scraped on the outside and not disinfecting it or cleaning it with soap. It's the same thing for our emotional triggers and the more vulnerable, fearful sides of us that we need to heal. Whew, a little philosophical. So there you go. That's my last card for today, just to show you guys what intuition can be for you when it comes to tarot. Now, I'm not going to touch the other sides of intuition because I am here for tarot as a tarot advisor. So I hope that you appreciated my content today. I would love to hear from any and all of you that might have questions. You can find me on Instagram and TikTok under darkness.light.tarot. On Twitter, you can find me April Kelly /Darkness and Light Tarot. On Pinterest, you can find me Pinterest under not April Kelly, Darkness and Light Tarot. That's it on Pinterest. And on Facebook, you can find me under April Kelly and Darkness and Light Tarot. I think that's about it. Yeah. So here, obviously, youtube.com/user/April Kelly 07. All right, you guys, I hope that you enjoyed my content and my video today. This is one of those videos that I wish I could have hundreds, if not thousands of people on here to ask me questions and to kind of get a bit more into the nitty gritty. But if you have any questions, come and find me and it would be a pleasure to answer anything. All right, you guys, take care. Bye.